Anyway, I have edged you for long enough. I should put the video on. Let's do that content nuke thing.
The world would not be the same.
So he's starting off with Robert Oppenheimer.
Two people laughed.
Oh my god, I don't have a...
People cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am..."
So, look, some level of abstraction and, you know, it's like normal, but we're kind of abstracting nuclear war from the human consequences of nuclear war. And it's in the context of a political video, or a video very much about, you know, geopolitics, right? As in the you know, reasons that people get nuked. And it's in the shadow of a genocide, which Ethan is going to start to make fun of in just a second. The idea that people would invoke what's happening in Gaza, and maybe even that they would call it a genocide. But yeah, this, like, when you're this abstracted from what you're talking about, you end up sometimes putting forth a dark irony that you don't even intend. Like, you know, you're without you realizing it, your video becomes a dark parody of itself.
Become death, the destroyer of worlds.
We think the Houthis Ansarallah is doing what the Houthis
fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dogs. Why am I held accountable? God forbid you throw up the fucking green Hamas banner.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm cooked, I'm cooked.
Happy birthday from Twitch, Hassan. Happy birthday.
So this is the most successful aspect of this video, is the Ethan's ability to grab Hassan clips, little like 2, 3, 1 second clips from everywhere, because that's the only way that he's able to tell his story. If he let Hassan cook, if he let Hassan actually talk, if he showed a decent sized clip, he wouldn't be able to stick to his narrative, because he's very much taking him out of context. But yeah, there's the splash for the beginning.
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds, and I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably a lot of you guys too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb. Oh yeah, and I got a tattoo also, so I'm cool like that now. Left or right, I always thought that despite our differences, there was one thing we could all agree on. And what was that?
The aesthetic of Hila holding the camera on you in front of the computer.
That we love America and everything she stands for.
Okay, so
Sure, there's plenty.
So yeah, like, I mean, I'll just let it play so you can get a sense.
And endless things to improve, but I thought it was about making a more perfect union.
A greater union, making America greater?
Not tearing it down.
And marching bands, a pride that only
The thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communist.
Okay, so we got what I wanted to show, which is that he's kind of serious about that. So I had to look into this, like where this clip came from. There it is. That's the original. Okay. This is on the H3. This is on that same channel. This is on H3 Productions. Look at how Ethan is treated. So this song in the past.
Mom and dad and apple pie, baseball games and picnics in July. Fireworks and marching bands, a pride that only freedom understands. That's America. That's America to me. Open arms and willing hands, giving just to help a fellow man.
So yeah, this is how I think. Yeah, I mean, like, this is on their channel. The original context is this, though.
America, can you cue up that song? There's an apple pie. Can you cue that up, Dan? Or I'll find it. I've got a medley that's gonna work really well. That's America. So they found a guy on Reddit who takes a video of himself next to a hornet's or wasp's nest. I think it's a wasp's nest. And he grabs the wasp's nest, crushes it in his hand, and then shoves it in his mouth. And the first thing Ethan thinks of is, that's America. Hang on, you guys, this is going to be worth it. That's America to me. Mom and dad and apple pie. I'm having trouble finding.
So yeah, they're 100% making fun of it, and that's why I don't get what we just watched, because I'm looking for the cues that, like, you know, he's kind of kidding about this.
The original. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't
anybody?
know what song you're
We
talking
literally
about.
just watched the EXE of it. Maybe I have a link to it here.
Oh, I think this was the EXE.
That's America.
Is this the no?
That's America. Come on, no.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
You guys.
Anybody know what an EXE is? Is this some kind of old school YouTube thing?
No, sir. Nope.
What?
I don't know what you're talking
We
about.
literally didn't we just?
Yeah, we did with the America EXE.
Yeah.
that we
On this
watched.
show?
ND says, what is next? Ethan's gonna join Dr. Phil on the immigration raids. No, but Asmongold will.
Because we were
Oh, I don't
watching
pay
our old
attention to
videos.
this show. Snap.
That's America.
Yeah, Jana, they still have Jimmy Lee in the button screen in the we'll be right back technical difficulties screen.
Doesn't even work, so I can't type.
Bro, I cannot believe I can't find this. I'm so upset right now. Here it is.
There. What is it called?
That's America to me.
Well,
Okay.
That's what I typed, but I don't have all the letters.
Okay. Ready? Can we please do this? This is worth the wait. Okay, ready? I'm working on something, obviously. Oh my god, this is so difficult.
Mom and dad and apple pie, baseball games and picnics in July.
Dude, what the fuck? It won't play the damn thing.
Fireworks and marching
There we go.
bands, a pride that only freedom understands.
There we go. Now we're talking.
You wanted him, bitch. Is that who you really wanted? You sure about that?
Arms and willing hands,
What the fuck, bitch?
give her all to find.
There he is. There he is.
So now, as far as I know, this is old, edgy Ethan, and this is the context that song was played, right?
That's America.
That.
Anyway, you get the idea, right? That's where this comes from.
Communism.
That's America, a pride that only
The thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
That's the scary thing that's brewing in America. Not palingenetic ultranationalism, but communism. We are in big danger, chat, of communism taking hold.
That's America. That's America to me.
I started a show a couple of years ago with my acquaintance, Hassan Piker. You might remember him from such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it. Yeah, kill them.
You know, that's so funny. He's looking at Crenshaw. What's his name? The guy from the Texas Senator Crenshaw, Dan Crenshaw. He's looking at Dan Crenshaw, who is the guy that he debated and said, you know, suggested that a brave mujahideen had intercoursed his eye out.
Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry. Holy shit. That's not what I said.
What I mean is you almost got two edgy Hassan quotes in one.
Dumb cracker bitch.
and of course, the Leftovers podcast, which was our show, which we made broadly to goof on the antics of the right. Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
There is Ethan Klein being a delightful human being.
So wait, as long as nobody calls me out for being yikes, I'm okay with Hassan saying that shit. But when people start saying, disagree, bro, to my Israel takes, my Gaza takes, then that's when I draw the line and I say, all right, no more forgiveness.
I was just gonna say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets
canceled. That's what he was gonna say, right?
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning
No, I mean, you know what he said, and you know why he paused it there, right? Because that kind of shit might not be okay to say on YouTube. Apparently, a few things in this video got his video age restricted, I think. And so he's had to blur them.
Democrat who supports basic things. And we went on making the show for about...
Wait, I'm sorry. You thought Hassan was a Democrat? Did I hear that right? Oh, also, is that too much Seinfeld?
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic...
He presents himself as a left-leaning Democrat? You think Hassan presents himself as a left-leaning Democrat? He and Ethan joked about the eye-effing on Leftovers.
And we went on making the show for about 2 years, and everything was good. Everyone was having fun. The audience was having fun. No problem. That was until this happened.
We were doing our regular show, and for the first time I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was.
Now I can imagine him going over his video from today saying, and all of a sudden, my chat was filled with gender ideologists.
I don't hate the idea of like people who can be successful. I think it's good that people can achieve success in the term monetary success. I mean, that's what that means, right? I do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because I see so many people in the chat saying no.
I don't know what y'all are tripping about. Like, what the fuck do you
What
want?
is the idea that
you guys,
people
like,
are looking for?
You guys are all like radical communists? There's that many radical communists? Suck it, chat. You're watching a capitalist pig. Deal with it.
Like, it's so nice when you say successful. You know, we all want to be successful. But when that success means, like, controlling so much money that you have to invent all kinds of financial mechanisms in order to just use it to try to get more money, that kind of affects the rest of us. That affects the rest of us a lot. And when you're eyeing, like, our wages, trying to figure out ways that you can cut those wages, whether by firing some of us and forcing the rest to do the same amount of work, or whether by paying us less, eliminating regulations. Yeah, that's the problem. The perverse incentive. Their success comes at the expense of our ability to live even a basic life.
And then this happens.
And that's what always happens under capitalism, because it's accumulation. People think of capitalism as just like a system, and this is just kind of how this is going to be now. They're going to have this percentage of rich people, this percentage of upper middle class, like, right, that this is just a static thing, and it's not. It accumulates, it concentrates, it aggregates money upwards, ever upwards. And so the longer you let this system run, the more it changes, and it changes in a way where you've got less of what you need. And the people that have the capital have more than they could ever possibly need. But they need it. They need your shit anyway in order to make sure that they're still the top billionaire, trillionaire, whatever, quazillionaire.
This comment from Hassan really started to sound some alarms in my head.
If you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely exist, what would you do if that party started gaining momentum?
The solution to that would always be education and offering more...
re-education?
Re-education, certainly, yeah. There should be an enforcement mechanism, and in that enforcement mechanism, I think like rehabilitation, which would include re-education as well.
Look, the thing is that the party we have on the right is unnatural and astroturfed, and way more anti the needs of workers than any party just like organically arising out of a system where there's a firewall between money and politics. Now, you're never going to get a complete isolation. There's always going to be, you know, as long as you've got powerful people, they're going to have the ability to corrupt. But when you have less of a concentration of wealth, there's less that they can, that's harder for them to do. And when you have a firewall between money and politics, that's, you know, but yeah, under that kind of system, you'd have a party like the Democrats, and then you'd have a party that was more like a social democratic party, like a European social democratic party. That would be the organic discourse in American politics. The problem is that the very few are able to inject their ideology as the, you know, one half of the political system, and really they kind of corrupt. They kind of touch both parties, right? So instead, you've got two versions of capitalism, you know, competing when you should have an alternative.
Putting capitalists in re-education camps isn't disturbing enough. I started to notice that Hassan was carrying a lot of water for communist states' war crimes and genocides.
What do you call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River. A Russian river.
I feel like we saw the other part of that one, and he's not, spoiler, he's not being serious about that. He does not think that Crimea belongs to Russia.
Annexation of Crimea is absolutely a justifiable annexation. Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate, like
So
autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one, I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying, suck my tongue or whatever, but like, that's not far from the norm in fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
so China unilaterally took over Tibet,
like
squelched
these are
their culture. They basically are trying to, you know, homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion and the identity.
The part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that, yes, I do think that is good.
No, China did them a favor.
This is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution from a powerful federal government that squashed, okay?
Tibet is the South in the Civil War?
Yes.
and most disturbingly, a complete whitewashing of the Chinese genocide against their Muslim minority group, the Uyghurs.
Don't they have Uyghur death camps? Is that?
It's not a death camp. They were re-education camps, and they are no longer in operation.
Is that
according
true?
to the Associated Press?
Okay. I saw this
But, yeah,
crazy
they're-
documentary, and I don't know. I don't know the surrounding narrative or anything about.
Okay, no, it's one thing to characterize the camps in Xinjiang as death camps, right? But watch where he goes next.
But it was about there was doctors in the area. They would be able to procure organs.
No, that's.
Oh my God, they would be able to procure organs, right? So, in other words, he's saying that they were harvesting organs from people. This is actually from the Falun Gong. This is the claim that the homophobic cult that runs the Epoch Times and Shen Yun says that China was trying to do to them.
No,
I'm telling you, they were in China with.
Dog, that one is like Shen Yun,
They're like, we
Falun
can
Gong.
get you an organ.
I watched a kind of wild documentary. The other thing about this is, like, he sounds like Joe Rogan when he says that. Like, yeah, there was this thing where there was doctors in the area, and somehow they were able to procure all kinds of organs that they would normally, there'd be a huge waiting list for. All of a sudden, all kinds of organs just became easy to get a transplant of. And it's just like, it's like a Roganite being like, and she put a piece of metal on her neck, and it stuck there because she had become magnetic thanks to the vaccine. It's like that kind of shit.
But why is that? Is that really that crazy?
The Associated Press quietly fucking wrote an article that didn't get a lot of coverage in mainstream media about how, like, okay, well, all the concentration camps have been closed now. Like, all the re-education camps are closed now in fucking Xinjiang, and it's like very different vibes in Xinjiang, and now it's the tourism hour.
Let's see what the Associated Press actually had to say about this. These are all AP articles from the last 2 years. UK independent body reports China committed genocide in Xinjiang. China sanctioned a U.S. research firm and 2 individuals over a report about the human rights violations in Xinjiang.
It's the tourism hour.
To China's fury, UN accuses Beijing of Uyghur rights abuses.
Tourism hour.
Uyghur County in China has the highest prison rate in the world. 1 in 25 people is in a Chinese prison.
It's the tourism hour.
48 Uyghurs detained in Thailand for almost 11 years are on hunger strike to protest their imminent deportation to China, where they face imprisonment or execution.
Not only does this AP article seem not to exist, reading the AP proved exactly the opposite. Hassan has happily eaten up the Chinese propaganda on this and has regurgitated it to his mainstream audience. Why is he defending China's genocide of their Muslim population? How does this even make sense? It only makes sense if A, he's being paid, or B, he has the political complexities of a 5-year-old. I know America Bad is a meme that people laugh at online, but with Hassan, this does actually seem...
He's being paid to do communist propaganda. Is that where we're going here? Is that what Ethan is suggesting?
Seem to be the beginning and the end of his analysis.
2 principles. Let me explain to you. 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. So when I look at other countries, I look at the regional actor, whoever the regional power player is, and then I look at who is backed by the Western superpowers. That's a principle that you could take home with you. If you want to actually be moral, or if you want to be smart about the way you analyze other countries, that's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
After seeing all of this, I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
And then
this happened.
We have breaking news out of Israel this morning where Hamas has launched a surprise attack within Israel's borders overnight.
After the shock of October 7th, I noticed a huge increase of anti-Semitic comments from Hassan's stream and Discord, including from his head mod. I was disturbed that Hassan was seemingly okay with this.
Can you do you care that your chat is calling me racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at all?
I have not looked at my chat at all, but you have
I just opened it, but don't you have moderators? Do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
There's 32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how it feels. And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child, cold, arrogant, kind as fuck.
I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
How can you be surprised when your Discord is literally full of fucking
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're making that argument. You know that, right? Like
Hassan's chat had been calling.
So yeah, he's not getting that the chat is not just like, so I mean, he's going to show another example, right? The chat is responding to what Ethan is saying right then and there.
A Zionist, baby-killing genocider. Maybe it is unreasonable that I'm asking him to moderate his chat for a friend. He doesn't even know where I'm coming from because it's not something he would ever ask for.
And all these other content creators actually, whipping their communities when their chat is going
Oh my god, how do you get away with that much curb?
fucking absolutely bananas over random dumb shit and bringing my name up for no fucking reason.
Yeah, bringing your name up for no fucking reason versus talking about Ethan when he's on your stream, like saying shit that they just don't agree with, that sounds gross to them. And a time where there is a movement, there's a momentum towards the justification of the mass killing of people in Gaza.
That you were just allowing that shit to run rampant in your chat. And I thought that was fucked up.
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
Especially as someone who thought we were fucking friends. I think that's a reasonable expectation for someone who you consider to be a friend.
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views, and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years. The problem with Hassan's coverage, and a lot of people like him, was their complete lack of empathy for the Jewish people who were frankly slaughtered by Hamas. He refused to show even a crumb of empathy for the Jewish victims.
But listen to what this guy has to say.
Yeah, I don't think he gets it, WB. Also, he's gonna get me demonetized, chat. I should have just skipped it.
Where they were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took at least several dozen hipsters. But I'm sure they're doing very fine despite what the New York Post says. But nobody had seen this coming.
I mean, that's insane, right?
I don't even... Yeah, okay. Like...
Okay.
So this is the problem with Ethan. In his mind, certain acts by certain people justify this apartheid system being the form of a two-state solution that he supports, which is the status quo. Status quo is an apartheid system. So the actions of some people in Yemen justify calling Rashid a terrorist, right? It's just like, and that in this case, the statement of one person at a protest invalidates the entire movement. This is...
I'm just criticizing people. You don't have to comment if you're not comfortable about it.
I honestly felt at times that he and his audience barely thought of Israelis as humans.
But this dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
Part of running defense for Hamas is downplaying the violence, specifically the sexual violence, which he's done a lot of.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's
he's not downplaying it. He's saying that, yes, horrible actions don't justify fucking genocide.
Other part of this problem.
That's what you have to get if you want to stand against what's happening, which obviously Ethan had no interest in. Like, he can virtue signal all he wants, say he's on the side of the Palestinians, he believes in Palestinian rights, whatever the fuck he wants to say. You can't fucking take him seriously when he's got fucking Hasbro coming out of his mouth at the time where people are being slaughtered.
That many people that can't contend with, like
every time people keep on saying Red Scare, and I get what you're saying, you mean that he's doing like anti-communist, like McCarthyist shit. Every time you say that, I think of the Red Scare girls.
The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets. The Palestinian
yeah, again, when you've got a people under assault being held in an open prison camp, and especially when your government is literally trying to empower these very groups that you're complaining about, the acts of Hamas do not invalidate the fucking human rights of people in Gaza. And if that was true, then the very same argument, even more so, could be made at Israeli citizens. And, you know, I know Ethan doesn't want that. So it's just like, he doesn't get it that the thing that's making his mind work this way is racism. That's what's doing it. That's what's the reason that there's this, you know, dissonance in his thought process is because of racism. His justification for this is rape. Well, I mean, like, look at that. Like, sorry about the rapes is what it says. We're not perfect. Oh my God. So this is like the Lincoln Riley thing. You talk about something really horrible that happened, and then you just like bulldoze your opponent into submission of like, therefore we need to invalidate people, like jurisprudence in the case of the Lincoln Riley Act. In this case, therefore we're going to justify genocide. Because we're gonna see the, you know, and before we even know if these acts took place or if they, like many other claims very early on after October 7th, turn out to be propagandistic and not supported by facts. Hassan never denied that you know, sexual violence happened likely during October 7th. It's just that the official story that was put forward was based on, you know, an attempt to move the needle on what was going to be accepted as a reaction from Israel.
Resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets. Is not perfect.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this, even if they're suffering.
That's not where the bias is, right? That's not, you know, like if you've got a car and you're learning to drive it and you're trying to keep it between the shoulder and the middle line, right? Your problem is not being too close to caring about, you know, Palestinians and not Israelis. Your problem is that all of the concern that is, you know, being expressed in journalism by our politicians is towards Israelis. And very little concern seems to be directed towards Palestinians.
On the whole is not as great. Some of you may know that I'm an Israeli dual citizen. My wife is Israeli, my kids are half Israeli, and my entire in-law is Israeli. I lived there for 5 years, and I grew a closeness with the country and its people. One of the biggest issues between me, Hassan, and his community was that I am in favor of a two-state solution while they are in favor of a one-state solution. Their theory is that after the October 7th attack, Israel should...
And again, in this context that we're dealing with, a two-state solution Looks a lot like apartheid.
Just dissolve its borders and let Hamas enter.
Okay, so there we go. Dissolve its borders, and what does it happen? Hamas gets to enter. This is fucking Hasbara. Like this is one form of it when we conflate the Palestinians with Hamas. And again, part of the reason that a militant group has gained such prominence is the way that Gaza is being treated as an open-air prison. That gives power to a group that's going to be more violent. That is literally how that fucking works. And it's on purpose. This is the group that's meant to be empowered because this is the group that justifies whatever the fuck Netanyahu and his war cabinet want to do to the Palestinian people.
Israel unrestrained.
Borders. What do you think Israel should have done in response to October 7th?
Instead of indiscriminately bombing Gaza, I think the first thing to do in that situation would be to dismantle the government in the way that it existed, like get Netanyahu out of power.
Okay. So you're saying Israel in response... Hold on, dude. You're saying in response to this terrorist attack, Israel should have dismantled their own government.
First set of actions would be to democratically take Netanyahu out of power. Yes.
The problem is that Israel's been at war with its neighbors for 70 plus years, and it makes a lot of sense that there'd be some distrust there. Is it really insane to think that Jews...
And it doesn't make sense that there would be some distrust by Palestinians? This is the whole thing. It's like you can tell... You can tell what he's missing. And when you ask yourself, why is he missing that? Why is he not able to see that? It's because he's coming at it from a racist perspective. He's coming at it with a good guys and bad guys mentality.
As an ethnic minority in Israel would not be safe. After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come...
And so we're creating more refugees. And literally, that's that's the plan that Trump has been discussing. And that, God, like they're talking about, Trump's talking about trying to get countries to take in Palestinians. They're trying to reduce the population of Palestine after they've already reduced the population of Palestine by killing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
From Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more...
And what happened in that war? Again, you're dealing with a cause and an effect, but he won't say what the cause was.
Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews. All of these surrounding Arab countries had vibrant Jewish communities in huge number, hundreds of thousands. Now, if you look at them, you're looking at close to, if not literally, 0 Jews left in these countries.
Just to give you an idea.
Jews lived alongside Muslims before. There. And it's not like they just naturally attack one another. And yeah, Jews lived as an ethnic minority in that area for a long time under the Ottoman Turks and then under the British, right? And then, that was when all these events were set into motion by the Nakba.
Idea. Here's a visual representation of the Jewish refugees after 1948. Morocco had 265,000 Jews. Now it has 2,000. Algeria had 140,000. Now it has about 50. Iraq had 150,000 Jews. Now 10. And I want to give a special shout out to my boy over in Afghanistan, one known Jew. We know him. We love him. He's the one Afghan Jew.
They were forced to leave their homes, their lives, their property, and migrate to the only place in the world that would accept them, which was Israel. The irony of this whole situation is that after the 1948 war, when Israel won the war to declare its independence, the Arab countries got super anti-Semitic against their own Jewish citizenry that had nothing to do with Israel. And as a result, they kicked them all out, 1 million plus of them, and forced them to go the one place they hated the most, Israel. And now those same people that forced them out of their homes are telling them they don't belong there. So if the Jews...
Those same people? So Ethan's going to call Frogan out for using they later on? But the way that Ethan is thinking about them being what? Like all the world's Muslims? And then, like...
Jews of Israel are surrounded by Islamic militant terrorist groups that have stated their goal is to annihilate Israel as a Jewish state. And considering the historical context of Jews being pogromed from Arab countries, is it really that crazy for them to not feel safe as an ethnic minority, even a little bit?
And that's pretty much the entirety of our disagreement. Despite what you've read on TikTok and Twitter, I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the dono. Ethan Klein gave $6,500. My goat. Thank you, Ethan.
Condemned Netanyahu as a war criminal. They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal. Called the West Bank settlements an abomination. Settlers in the West Bank are religious zealots, they're monsters, they're genocidal. I've even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets. When you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are more or less valid military targets, in my opinion. My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians. That's it. That's why they're calling me a Nazi Zionist. And because of Hassan and others spreading this malicious lie about my beliefs, I'm even getting harassed on the street.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're...
This is such a weird interaction.
Wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's
She was born
sad.
there.
That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist,
Bro,
man.
look in the fucking...
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist, bro.
Wait a minute. Okay, no, this is actually... Yo, wow. Did we just enter a time capsule, chat? This style of editing... Like this is old YouTube. Like I've seen like older YouTube videos that have this kind of editing. It just seems kind of out of place in 2025. I don't know.
Tired of all these coward Americans in the South trying to act like they're so tough. Oh, I'm American. Oh, you don't even run your own country. You don't run your own country, bro. You don't run your own country. A foreign country named Israel runs your country. Oh my God, bro! I love you, Hassan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you.
Yeah, Hassan doesn't even look like he's trying to have this interaction.
You're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay.
The funny thing about me, I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists. If they're Jews, Christians, Muslims, they're all bad.
Do I need to say it, chat? What he's not recognizing is that if you're going to define a terrorist as somebody who does terrorism, there's a whole group of terrorists that you are just not seeing because they have military uniforms on.
What is terrorism?
And they are an ally of the United States.
It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals. I don't like it. None of it. And over time, I started to learn that my co-host, he really likes terrorists.
Did your co-host go on a night raid to go get some terrorists, to go arrest some to go fucking pull people out of their homes? Because I believe your other co-host did.
do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
Taking over these ships, they started targeting the ships.
People on this helicopter right now?
Yes.
They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
A lot of DGG clips in here.
I don't have.
Your audio is choppy too. Try reloading. If your audio is choppy, reload. Let's see if that helps. Because it doesn't show, it's not showing up on my side, chat. Anybody else got choppy audio? Try reloading if that's the case. And try hitting that like button while you're at it, because it helps me out a lot.
I have an issue with them, let's just say. But they are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
he is regarded as a pretty brilliant person in terms of like everything that he's done.
Then I saw clips like this where Hassan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know, social democratic ideas.
I just wanted to like put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hassan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then
all it takes is a Russian accent, or I don't think it's actually a Russian accent in a Yukopnik's case, but you can see how like Ethan is gonna read this. We catch them while they're young, just
start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hassan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy.
You have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda.
With robust social safety nets.
Called radicalization funnel, catch them while they're young, as they say.
And protections for workers, like higher unionization rates.
A lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
Hell, he's proclaimed it loudly that he...
I mean, would you like it better if he was like, no, we could have a workers' revolution tomorrow. We could storm the whatever and seize the means, and we could
Joshua Kell super chatted $5. None of this is about finding the truth. It's all about how Ethan feels. He is no different than Crowder or Paul.
Yeah. Very, very reactionary in that way, almost in a literal sense. Narwhal, I don't know what's going on with the throne page. I don't see anything that seems like it's... Is there like a link there or something that doesn't work?
He is a self-described propagandist.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
No, I'm not calling
I'm
you
a
that.
propagandist.
I'm just saying. I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay, well then, I want to
I'm saying I am.
I just
before
want to
you
put
even play it.
A propagandist is much more than someone with a bias. It's someone who knowingly lies to further their political agenda.
And then I had a terrifying vision. Had I been duped? Was Hassan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet.
The page is just blank white? Oh, weird.
learned how much he hates liberals.
Dude, I hate liberals, dude. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I hate liberals so much.
Did this man sit next to me for 2 years and pretend to be my friend?
Okay, so yeah, like these are moments where when he says liberals are incredibly what did he say? Like they're basically easy to trick or something?
A left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me.
Liberals
and turning them against me. It's all about you.
Easiest to manipulate people.
Easiest to manipulate the people. So now there's two ways that, like, we're just seeing a little clip here. There's two ways you could imagine this, right? Either Hassan is saying, I love manipulating liberals. It's my favorite thing. They're so dumb. They're putty in my hands. I just love manipulating them with my pipeline and my, you know, or he could be saying that he's seeing like liberals get manipulated to right-wing positions, which is, you know, if you've watched Hassan, more likely what he's actually saying.
On the fucking planet, dude.
I learned how much he hates liberals.
Dude, I hate liberals, dude. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I hate liberals so much.
Did this man sit next to me for 2 years and pretend to be my friend?
Dude, liberals are a burden on this planet, dude.
Liberals are the most like scummy, vile, fucking idiots.
Liberals are incredibly stupid. I hate these petulant liberals, dumb fucking liberals.
What else is someone this sociopathic capable of?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
Was I being manipulated?
That means he's gonna manipulate you. Was I being manipulated? Was I the stupid liberal that he was manipulating? Oh my god. Narwhal, I checked and it looks like I can see, like I can open my page. I don't know what's going on.
This whole time?
That was my fear anyway. Regardless of his true beliefs, that broke my trust in him, and I pretty much ended the show immediately. And I felt guilty for my participation in mainstreaming Hassan. And
there we go. I'm the one who made him big.
For that, I apologize. I should have done more research, and I should have looked more deeply into who I was getting in bed with before they gave me chlamydia. So
he really has it in his brain that Hassan, chat, I've seen this kind of paranoia before, and actually not from like a large streamer like Ethan, from somebody closer to my own size, right? Like, and yeah, like, I mean, Hassan is on a upswing and he's on a downswing. But it's just, it blows my mind that he is so paranoid that he thinks he's like literally like this is an evil communist plot. He came in, he radicalized my audience. This is the Pied Piper shit. I always joke around or not joke about this. I mean, it feels like what Jank is trying to say when he complains about the likes of the Majority Report and Silly and Billy. He thinks they're stealing his audience. You know, Sam said that one thing to him about Jimmy Dore, that it's worthwhile to do videos on Jimmy Dore to try to, you know, claw back some of that audience and make them see what's wrong with Jimmy. And, you know, Jink got it in his head that that's what Sam is doing to him. And now Ethan's basically, wow. This is just a bad place. This is a bad mental place to be.
sorry, Hila.
A bad paranoid place that he's in.
Over the past year since the show ended, I continue to watch Hassan platform, promote, and propagandize terrorist organizations. And every time it happened on Twitch, I would say, man, this time surely he went too far and someone's got to do something. But as the time went on, nothing happened. And
oh my gosh.
Got more and more radical and more disturbing. I feel it's my obligation after mainstreaming someone like Hassan to take this on. And so it was war. Nuclear war.
I stand before you following the footsteps of intellectual giants.
One thing we've
as
been hearing
nothing
for weeks.
but a simple man.
Now,
A simple man who understands right from wrong.
Yeah. You're an important, influential voice to a lot of...
Thank you for the throne contribution, Narwhal.
I'm an idiot. I'm a dumb bimbo. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And there are some things...
I've gotten numb to the criticism. Like, it's not. As a matter of fact, I seek it out now because I make content out of it. I think it's funny and fun.
And there are baby settlers as well.
Can you just shut the fuck up, bloodthirsty, violent
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen.
Chad, do you think Ethan made that part